So basically what it is like standard legal practice in the animal agriculture industry, what happens to animals in slaughterhouses and farms to eat basically their dead bodies. So we just feel like we live in a society of animal lovers but also animal eaters.
Yeah.
So
I think if you love animals, you shouldn't eat them.
Of course. Yeah.
You're killing something you like
admire. Yeah. I have always loved animals, but I ate animals for like 23 years.
Yeah.
I just never seen what happened to them. Yeah. But then I thought, like, you know, on the TV you're bombarded with animal products, burgers and stuff, and you only ever see the end product. You don't see the process of what animals go through, like living creatures turned into lifeless pieces of flesh. And we go as far as calling it like you call like a piece of cow flesh a steak, and a piece of pig flesh bacon.
Yes.
So we have these.
Sounds so appetizing.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think
it's something to think about. Like we've been brought up to think that eating meat's normal.
Yeah.
Turkey dinners, all that. Christmas.
Totally.
But then whenever you see what actually happens in the slaughterhouse and stuff like that,
it doesn't make you feel hungry, does it?
No, it makes you lose your appetite.
I think that says something about us as a species, because like when even a dog, like they would eat meat, you know, but they wouldn't feel sympathy for the dead animal. We have evolved to have a sense of compassion, to acknowledge that someone had to die, and basically like if we have that feeling inside us, it would be sad to see animals being slaughtered. What does that say about our habits of eating animals? It's that we have been like brought up, as you said, like to think it's normal, but also we don't see what happens. Like you don't see that in advertisements.
No, they don't show that.
Because obviously like people will feel disgusted at it and not want to support it. So there's a lot of money spent on keeping it that way, like keeping us focused on how juicy the chicken burger at KFC looks, or McDonald's or whatever. And when you see like an individual who had a preference to live and to fight for their life in a slaughterhouse, like it kind of makes you feel different. So I stopped eating animal products after I heard this guy's speech on YouTube. I have like info cards. I can give you one after this conversation if you want to look into it more or whatever. But do you have any? It's okay to have opposing views. Like if you have any, because sometimes we meet people who aggressively defend eating meat and all that. Like I mean, do you eat animal products or anything?
I would, guilty of it.
No, but here that was me too. So I'm not like here to judge or make you feel bad or anything. We just want to let people know that there is another way of life.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Brings awareness to it. I'm never in Belfast.
Yeah. Okay.
See it could change.
This happens all throughout Ireland, like in sheds and, you know, like slaughterhouses and stuff. They aren't in cities. They're far away because if you don't see it happening, then it's out of your mind, and you can rest at ease. And I literally see meat as like a dead body now, because that's what it is. We put a barcode on it and a label and try to make it out to be something that it's not. But I mean, that's like a mother and a child to me. They have families and they have emotions, and we love like cats and dogs. And why should we draw this line where it's like, let's love them and kill other animals? Like when they, like when all animals have a preference to live and, you know, value their lives and fight for their lives like we would if we were in a slaughterhouse. I mean, so it's not just food. It's like wearing dead skin of animals, wearing their fur, going to zoos and going to circuses, buying products that are tested on animals. So that, I mean, that's basically what veganism is. It's like trying to remove yourself from harming animals as much as possible, because when you see the reality of what they are forced to endure, like they don't get a choice. And see a lot of this footage, that's at like really high welfare farms. You know,
it's filled with like bacteria and
yeah. I mean, they're just in their own filth, decaying, putrid flesh. It's horrible. But if it doesn't make you feel hungry when you look at it, like you kind of have to sort of ask yourself, how can I put it in my body? You know what I mean? Do you have any like opposing views, like in favour of eating meat, or in any way that you don't see a problem with it? Because there's a whole lot of...
There's not many people actually stopping, and that everyone is still eating meat. Animals are still going to get killed either way.
Yeah.
That's one view, I suppose.
Yeah. It's quite...
Get everyone to stop, unfortunately. I wish you could.
Yeah, me too. I mean, something that might make your heart a little lighter is last year there's a thing called Veganuary, going vegan for January. Last year there was 165,000 sign-ups in the UK alone, and this year there were close to 300,000. And like, this is a minor thing, but it's little things that add up to make a big thing. Greggs have released like a vegan sausage roll. McDonald's are going to try like a vegan Happy Meal. So there, and you go into Tesco's or Sainsbury's or whatever, and there's like a whole range of vegan foods like chickpea burgers and Linda McCartney sausages. So it's really accessible, and it's only gonna be more. That's legal practice. They clip the teeth of the piglets and they cut their tails because they're kept in such confined conditions that they're not allowed like to move, and they end up mutilating each other, like biting into each other's flesh and stuff. And they do it without anesthetic or anything because it costs money. And at the end of the day, they're trying to make money. Of course, yeah, that's just like little babies. The thing is, like, clipping the teeth and cutting the tail off, because they're confined, they get frustrated and they attack each other because they're not allowed to exhibit their natural behaviour. Pay for it if we eat animals, you know, but we don't know. I know. Totally, man. Well, I mean, I'm not pro-violence. Like, I mean, I just let karma sort people out. But those farmers have been like brought up doing this, so they just see it as natural and normal and necessary. But we're not against farmers, and we're not against people in the agricultural community. We're just against harming others, like who don't have a choice and who are forced to endure that. So even in the dairy industry and the egg industry, animals still die because see male chicks on the first day of their life, because they'll never lay eggs, they're killed and they're either put into a grinder, suffocated in a bag, or drowned, and that's standard and legal. So if we're banning eggs, we're supporting our practice. In the dairy industry, because the baby male calves will never produce milk, they're shot in the head and stabbed in the throat and cut up into pieces, and that's what veal is. It's like baby boy cow flesh, and that's a byproduct of banned milk. And some people think that the dairy industry is more cruel than the meat industry because after they milk them to exhaustion, then they go to a slaughterhouse for their meat. So respect, man. Thanks for viewing. Don't pay for it, man. Don't pay for it. When we buy animal products, like, we're paying for it to happen. Have you ever heard of veganism, or?
I mean, we're still here in 1,000 years' time, and we're still fucking in it.
Well, I was saying to these ladies, 300,000 people in this month signed up to go vegan for the month of January last year.
I wonder how many done it.
300,000 people. Well,
do I say they're doing it, like, not do it?
Well, I mean, I don't know that.
Say they're doing it, not do it.
That's on their conscience, but.
Where is it? If you're running, you mean?
What is it?
40 minutes if you're running?
No, I'm driving a car.
Yeah.
Do
Do you think there's like a humane way? But do you think there's a humane way to kill them?
Humane way?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have kill them at all.
Exactly, man. That's our point. A lot of people think they like to purport this myth that there's a nice way to kill someone who doesn't want to die, and they say that's like shooting them in the head, hanging them upside down, and cutting their throat. That's standard way that these animals are killed.
Their fucking throat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does that make you feel angry that we see them treated? Yeah.
Never actually realised, like,
That's what happens. Yeah. Do you think?
Any animals yourselves, have you?
I have 2 dogs.
I have dogs.
There's,
Shih Tzu.
American Bulldog,
What I am?
No, Shih Tzu.
Oh, Shih Tzu. That's an extra fucking large Shih Tzu.
and it's crazy because in Asia they eat dogs, and we think they're savages for eating dogs, but
And it's just normal.
pigs are like more intelligent than dogs. Do you know that? They're like the same intelligence as a 4-year-old child. And
Not being funny, but they can make it out of a pig.
it's nice bacon. What if, right? What if you
He
could?
whispered that in my ear, and sorry about that.
What if you could get? Yeah. What if you could get something that tasted like bacon
What would it taste like?
and was made from plants? No animal had to get stabbed in the throat. Would that be an alternative that you'd be interested in? Because you can get vegan bacon like in the shop up that street. It's as I said, like we haven't totally went mainstream. But here's the question: do you value taste more than someone's life?
Fucking stomach, then I'd be in the stomach.
But your conscience, what does your conscience say?
What's your conscience say?
What's more important in life, taste or life?
Keep alive, keep alive.
And we're going against that belief that we have.
Well, do you not need meat in your diet?
This is the thing, right? We're told in school that we need protein.
Yes.
What do animals that we eat, what do they eat? Their diet is of plants, like cows eat grass to get protein and calcium. So we just go straight to the plants and let the animals live, because you're pretty much recycling your nutrients through their dead body by going straight to the animals. And food's like a package deal, so you might be getting protein and calcium, but you're also getting saturated fat and cholesterol, and like these animals are fed loads and loads of antibiotics to be confined in such unnatural like circumstances. But see, it's because
see where that's getting TV'd or whatever. Where is that?
That one says just UK. I'm not too sure the specific slaughterhouse. That one's in Cornwall.
What's happening?
Look at that there.
So that's they're basically like, these animals are gonna fight against being killed, you know. So when they put it,
There's another law.
There used to be a law, yeah.
there was this ridiculous law brought
Why
out.
was when they farm and start kicking a pig about? That's
See,
fucking arrested.
See, it's not so much. This is the farmers send them to these places. This is slaughterhouse, so it's not the farmers doing this.
Sorry, they will fuck.
The farmers don't want to have to.
God, see if anybody was doing that.
Oh, no, tell me about it.
I'd be in fucking jail.
Outraged, yeah. That's a really healthy reaction, because you see injustice in the world, you should be angry. And see, the way to stop this is to stop paying for it.
Got to bring a fucking tears in
How
my
often are you
eyes.
here?
We're here like every 2 weeks or so.
That's really good. Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to get out on the weekends myself and do like one-to-one street interviews. Because animals have no voice, no one speaking up for them, you know. And we're just taking advantage of them because we can, basically, because they're weaker than us, because we claim to be more intelligent, you know. No, that's a beautiful thing about this. You see this and you see that it's horrible, and the way to remove yourself from participation in it. This is what you call artificial insemination. So these cows can't give consent. If you were to do this, if I was to do this to a dog, it would be called bestiality, and if you were to do it to a female, it would be called rape. So they stick their hand inside the anus and they grab the cervix, and then they stick a steel rod of semen into her vagina and impregnate her. So there's nothing natural about it. You think about it. See, to feed a population and to always have meat on the shelves.
don't you start crying?
No, here. It's a very like healthy reaction to be emotional over stuff like that. But the animals can't do anything about it. But you can. You know, we have the power. Like,
I'm not going for my birthday meal anymore today.
well, here you. I mean, there's places you can go for nice vegan meals. Like,
I know I'm pretty good.
oh, you have.
But I don't know. I might just get something else, something that's not like meat.
They actually literally might have a. Where is it?
Cosmos.
Cosmos up there.
Yeah.
It's like a all you can eat sort of thing, isn't it? I haven't been in a while though. But geez. Thing is, like, you're only finding this out right now, so it's not, you know. I understand your dilemma, but it's up to you. There's also a boojum in there, and you can get it's like a $5, and you get two types. You know what? It doesn't do something justice describing it in words when it's a taste. I can tell you places to go to try vegan things, and you'd have to taste it for it to really do justice. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like if we don't like to see it, like, then it's a bit hypocritical of us to pay for it. So the way to alleviate ourselves from that feeling is basically to just go vegan. And I mean, do you have any pets or anything?
I have a dog.
You have a dog, and obviously you'd hate to see your dog be treated.
It's my word. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, I treat him like a son.
I love dogs. Like, I'm gonna get a dog from a rescue shelter here. Definitely, yeah. Do you know about the pet, like the pet industry as well? You know the way people like want like designer dogs and stuff like that. Well, it's like puppy farms.
I know all about that.
Yeah. So I mean, that we see that as just as much as an injustice as stuff like that, because we're just using animals for profit, and they're just breeding them to get the best looking one. It's so shallow.
Some people have no hearts, so
But you see at Christmas and all, people getting puppies for Christmas, and then a couple of months later end up in the shelter.
Exactly,
That's why I'm going to take one from a shelter, because
for life, it's not just for Christmas.
I see people who like get a dog and then they're pregnant and have a kid, and it's like, I'm getting rid of this dog
like, I
now.
have no time for it.
It's so shallow. Yeah.
Like you're like, oh well, I have events in the future that will make me get rid of this dog.
Yeah.
I'll not get it there.
Dogs are better than people in my eyes. Like, dogs aren't destroying the planet. Dogs aren't slaughtering innocent animals. And this might blow your mind. This might be too far. But do you know that dogs can be vegan as well? And one of the longest living dogs in the world at a plant-based diet lived to be like 16. Yeah, it was a collie. Because put it like this: like if we're against the slaughter of these animals, we're feeding like a dog who doesn't know any better. Like dead bodies of other animals.
Because my dog would just eat like the odd bit.
Dogs are omnivores. Like they can eat both. But what I love about the definition of the word omnivore is it means either.
Yes.
But we know from human health, like you can't just eat meat. You need vegetables as well to be healthy. But like I swear to God, like you can get like things that taste like meat and feel like meat, and they're just made of plants.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good to eat that, because
A couple of my friends that are vegan, and they're trying to get me to stop eating like sausage rolls.
Yeah.
Processed food, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And every time I'd eat one, she would like go mad at me, or I asked her to go up and get me something to eat, she wouldn't get me it. She's like, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
I don't go to the shop for my folks if there's animal products involved.
I'm grand.
Yeah, so I mean, we give out these info cards, like that's them there, and that first one, the best speech you will ever hear.
That one.
That's what made me vegan. I watched that and I couldn't argue with a guy. This here, Vegan 22.
See, I know rightly, I would agree with all of it. I
Yeah,
would agree
yeah,
with exactly what
yeah.
you're saying. It's just
You just get the ethics of it.
Yes, it's the process of actually stopping.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could start off going vegan at breakfast time,
Yeah.
getting that down,
Yeah.
and then breakfast and lunch,
Yeah.
and then take it at your own pace. But it's one of the best things. It's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. Just,
Do you feel better?
I feel so much better, but I feel so much better in my heart as well.
Yeah.
Like I pet a dog with one hand and then stick a fork into a chicken with another one.
See, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. But I didn't know that. Like, and you've probably never thought about that before. They have so much money to just push these images of tasty animal flesh and to keep us from ever thinking about it. So, yeah, I mean, if I give you that,
Yes.
just maybe check it out, and your friend, like, if that resonates, like, you could maybe try it out together. And, like, we think that going vegan's like the least we can do because we're just removing ourselves. So if it resonates with you to, like, take a stand with us and speak to people, it's okay if it doesn't, but if it does, like, the more people we have, the better, because people take us serious if there's more of us. This is actually quite a small turnout. I could honestly talk for hours about this because I'm so passionate about it.
I know.
I'm sure. Is it your birthday today?
It's Tuesday.
Cool. My birthday's on Monday.
Oh really?
Yeah.
14th.
Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
But yeah, I mean, just check it out. If it resonates, just not, just take it easy.
Yes.
Just move into it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just think, how can I call myself an animal lover and an animal eater?
Yes, exactly.
And it's a human rights thing as well. Like, someone has to work in a slaughterhouse
Yes.
and cut throats all day long.
I don't know how they can do that.
Yeah, but people are forced into those jobs. No one actually aspires to that position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No worries. Yeah. Thanks for the conversation as well. And if you ever want to get involved, like, just type in AV Belfast,
Yes.
and it's like, obviously a prerequisite is being vegan, but it's like, are you vegan? Where did you hear about us? And do you want to get involved?
Yeah.
It would be awesome if. No pressure,
Yes,
but if you want to, it's cool. It might seem a bit intimidating, but you can
Years.
stay. What?
New Year's resolution.
Yeah, you can stay in the cube for as long as you want. Listen to how the conversations go, hold a sign or whatever,
Yes.
and then you can shadow. You can listen to, like, someone like me or whatever, like, talk to people, and then when you feel comfortable enough and you have the answers, like, it's really fun, to be honest. See, once you know the answers, we're here to, like, 4:30 or so.
Oh, grand.
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if you came by, but it's cool if it doesn't fit your schedule. It's usually every second Saturday or whatever.
That's okay.
Really, really appreciate it.
No problem.
What was your name?
Casey.
Nice to meet you, Casey. Thomas. Try it out together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you
Cheers
so
for
much.
stopping. All right, see you later. Cool.